Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. My name is George Coles, and on this episode we're doing It Came From the Net. The topic of this It Came From the Network, WCW Beach Blast from MTV. This was a MTV spring break special where some of the WCW wrestlers flew down. Now normally for It Came From the Network we do stuff that comes off of Peacock, formerly WWE Network. That's where the name of the show came from. This one, however, I found on YouTube. And the reason I did this is because it just randomly came up. I was looking for something different, and this popped up when I searched it. I was actually looking for the War to Settle the Score. This came up, and I remembered it, and I remembered how absurd it was, and in a good way. So I thought to myself, let's go ahead and review it. Now, the video itself is really short. It's only 20 minutes because they cropped out the commercials. If you would watch it in real time, it was only a half hour long. Matter of fact, the video this is from shows the guide come up where it says 3 to 3:30 p.m. This was recorded from February 6, 1999, right there at the height of the Monday Night Wars, where both companies were still pretty high in the rating. Wrestling was still very, very popular. WCW had done a few of these things with MTV. Raven and DDP appeared on a show that was kind of the precursor to Total Request Live. They had another similar to this event that happened, I think it was called Arctic Brawl, or it was at some kind of like a winter situation where they're fighting in the snow. And I want to say this was not the only time they were at spring break. I might be wrong on that because I seem to remember different matches. This is only going to be one match, kind of why I'm fluffing the beginning here a bit too. But again, I thought this was really interesting. So as I watched it, I decided to cover it. That being said, if you want to check out the video that I'm reviewing, it is going to be down here in the description. Pause it, go watch that, come back. If you don't care about spoilers for a 25-year-old show, then watch this and go there. I definitely recommend checking it out because it's such a different concept and such a different way for wrestling to be presented. Although I think it works, and I'll explain that as I go on. We start the show with the Nitro Girls, at least 3 of them in the ring, doing their dance to the Nitro theme, which was pretty cool. You have to figure spring break, they're going to do something like bring out the Nitro Girls. Then we're introduced to our announce team for the show today. We have Jimmy the Mouth of the South Heart, Raven, and Kid Rock. And I know Kid Rock's kind of a polarizing figure now, but back in 1999, he was one of the most popular musicians in the world. He's still a very popular musician. He still sells out concerts everywhere he goes. He just has some polarizing political views, which we won't get into here because this isn't a political show. I'd be willing to bet that Raven was pretty inebriated during the show, or at the very least did not take it seriously, because he called it kind of in a very smarmy way, but it made sense. It worked. After that, we go to Dave Holmes, who was an MTV VJ at the time, which is a video jockey for those of you who don't know. For you younger kids, there was a time that MTV did play music videos. That's why it's music television. It wasn't just a 24-hour loop of ridiculousness, and I don't mean that by the content, I mean that literally by the show. So we get Dave home, and he brings out Fear Factory, which is an amazing band. I love Fear Factory. Kind of a little bit of an obscure band to be on here. I don't think they ever really got the breakout mainstream fan that something like MTV and Spring Break would have warranted. But hey, it was great to see them. They talked to Fear Factory. Basically, the concept is going to be, as the wrestlers wrestle, Fear Factory is going to be playing music. They play a couple different songs here. Edge Crusher definitely is one of them that I picked up right away. The other song I know that they played, I don't remember the name of it, but I definitely remember Edge Crusher because I've heard that a million times. That's probably one of their more popular songs. Then we go back to Kid Rock, who's joined by the Nitro Girls. He introduces the participants for the match, which is going to be a 6-man battle royal. We get Billy Kidman, Hugh Morris, Rey Mysterio Jr. unmasked. So if you're not used to seeing Rey Mysterio unmasked and you don't want to see him without the mask, don't watch it. Chris Jericho, and we'll get back to him in a moment, Chavo Guerrero Jr., and Perry Saturn. I mentioned that we get back to Jericho because out of everybody that comes out, Jericho is given time to cut a promo, basically do his heel shtick at the time. I did like that. I did like the fact that all the wrestlers came out to popular music of the time. They didn't come out to their theme song, which I thought was pretty cool. Nice little touch here, tying in MTV. And this is probably why it's not on Peacock, because there's probably a lot of licensing issues here with all the different licensed music that was played here, and with Fear Factory as well. I don't think it's worth it for WWE videographers to go out and scrub all that music for basically a one-off show. Jericho gets to cut a promo and gets to talk about, why he's a heel, basically. Then we go right into the Battle Royal, which, again, as I said previously, the whole time Fear Factory is playing. However, it's kind of cool on the mix. I do like how they mix the Fear Factory and the commentary. The commentary could still be heard over Fear Factory playing, which I thought was going to be an issue. And for some reason, I remembered it being an issue because I remember seeing this back in the day when it was originally aired. But you were able to fully understand commentary. You were able to fully understand Fear Factory when they were singing. We get down to the final two of the Battle Royal, and it's Chris Jericho and Rey Mysterio. Jericho eliminates Mysterio, picking up the win. That leads us into the announce team, Jimmy Hart, Kid Rock, and Raven, coming into the ring to give Jericho a trophy for winning the Battle Royal. As he gets the trophy, he starts to cut a promo, and back comes Perry Saturn to attack him, destroy the trophy, and throw it into the ocean. Just a cool little ending there. Give the fans, a fan favorite coming back out. Give the people that may not know wrestling so well a face coming and getting the comeuppance. And this was during the Perry Saturn semi-Marilyn Manson inspired gimmick, which this was at the height of Marilyn Manson's popularity. He was ubiquitous. He was on MTV 30 times a day at this point, much like Kid Rock, one of the biggest musicians at the world at the time of this. Just an awesome show. And for this, I'm going to rate it all together because it's just one match and it's all one presentation of that match. I thought this was thoroughly entertaining. I could see maybe not liking this if you're not a fan of the band Fear Factory and you don't want to hear their music playing for 15-20 minutes. I could see that. Other than that, I thought the ring action was good. I mean, the wrestlers that they have here are some of the best wrestlers they had ring-wise in the company at the time. I mean, look at the absolute legends we have here. We have Billy Kidman, Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Perry Saturn, Chavo Guerrero, even Hugh Morris. All great wrestlers, which I gotta believe was a strategic choice to put these guys out there like that because they're going to be the most exciting match in front of a crowd that mostly probably has never watched WCW. So overall, I'm going to give this show a 5. I found it highly entertaining, and I definitely highly recommend watching this. Like I said, the only down I could see is if you're not a fan of Fear Factory, you're not going to enjoy hearing their music, or if you're not a fan of that style of music altogether, this probably isn't for you. But if you are, or if you just are okay with hearing the music in the background and you can tune it out, I definitely recommend checking this out. Like I said, there is a link to the video in the description here. I thought this was really fun overall, a very enjoyable experience. It was definitely nice to do a little bit something different for the show today. So with that being said, let's smash that like button, share the video, subscribe if you haven't. If you see where it says join, that's how you become a member. Becoming a member definitely helps out the page. And if you made it all the way to the end, let me know you made it to the end. Tell me what your favorite Kid Rock song is. Or if you don't like Kid Rock, just say I don't like Kid Rock. But if you do like him, let me know what your favorite song is. Is it Cowboy? Is it Picture? Is it Ba With Da Ba? Any of the other 9 million songs that he's put out? Let me know down here in the comment. With all that being said, my name is George Coles, and this has been another It Came From The Network.